you're competing at two spots, at center and at guard. Coach said the other day that the competition, the alignment's going to be settled on the field. Do you like that as a player? I mean, can you ask for any more than to just for the coach to say the guys will just prove it on the field?
No, I think that's how football has always been, and we're just looking for the best possible 5 guys out there in terms of an offensive line to go win some games.
Is it trickier for you, going back and forth from center to guard, each day?
Not necessarily. I mean, that's always been a goal of mine, is to be able to be versatile and play multiple positions. So that's something I've always worked on, and it's what I've been doing since I came into the league. So
thank you.
Ryan Dunleavy.
Hey, Ben, thanks for doing this.
Hey, how are you?
Good. You might have heard me ask Leo if you were in the room. I'm going to ask you the same thing. Andrew Thomas was here the other day with us, and he said to close the gap with the Eagles, it starts up front on the offensive and defensive line. That's where Philly's been dominant for a decade with the same 4 guys, Kelsey and Fletcher Cox, Lane Johnson, Brandon Graham. Do you guys as an offensive line feel that weight the way Andrew Thomas said you do? Do you feel that weight that if the Giants are going to get to where they want to get to and close the gap on the Eagles, it starts in the trenches?
I think winning every game starts in the trenches. I think if you can control the line of scrimmage, that gives you the best opportunity to win, both on the offensive and defensive line. So, I would agree with Andrew with what Andrew's saying. We're trying to put the best offensive line and best defensive line possible that we can get out there. And if we can control the line of scrimmage, that just gives us so much more of a chance to win games.
Thanks.
Art Stapleton.
Hey, Ben. Hope everything's going well.
Yep, thanks.
Today is the day that I would imagine linemen always circle the calendar and says we could finally hit after, 5 months of running around in shorts. But I thought Leonard Williams made an interesting point right before you, and he said that, the guys who focus on hitting sometimes lose their technique. Do you take that same approach now, and how much have you learned over the last couple of years as to what this day represents for you guys?
Yeah, I think Leo hit it right on the head. The main priority in every practice is to get better at technique and improve. The fact that we have pads on now, it makes things a little more intense, a little more exciting. But at the end of the day, you're always trying to improve your technique. With the second part of your question, I think one of the big things that you learn going through the years is how to practice without pads and how to improve your technique without pads, so that when you finally do get the opportunity to put the pads on and practice, you've already worked the technique multiple times beforehand, so that you're ready to go once the pads go on.
Thank you.
Yep.
Tim Jones.
Sorry, I was muted and talking to myself. I apologize. What's Bobby Johnson like as a coach, and particularly, I guess, to kind of piggyback on Art's question about the pads today? Does he have to say anything to your group?
No, if you have a good group, we should be internally driven, and I feel like that's how we are. Bobby's an incredible coach. I can't say enough good things about him. Really enjoyed working with him. I think I can speak for just about everybody in the O-line room that we love working with him. I think he's exceptional at his job, and he brings the best out of us.
Now that you've been in camp, a week or so, whatever it's been, I lose track of the days. What's the rookie center dynamic like in your room at this point?
John Michael's fitting right in. He's a great guy. Culturally, he's fit in right with us. Hasn't skipped a beat, and he's coming along really well.
Just really quickly, did you wrestle? Were you someone who wrestled as a kid in high school or anything like that?
I did not. That's one of my regrets in life, is that I never did. So
maybe someday I'll talk to you about that. Yep. I'll cede my time now. Thank you so much.
Yep.
Mark Cannizzaro.
Hey, Ben, thanks for doing this. I'm curious, getting back to Leonard Williams, when you look across the line, how would you describe how impactful that guy is for your defense?
I mean, it's incredible. I mean, he's got incredible size, incredible length. You know, he's a savvy player, and he's extremely talented. You know, he provides a matchup issue for other teams, and you know, it's great going against him every day. It makes us better. It sharpens our technique, and he's a guy that, you know, you can't make a mistake on because he knows how to expose it.
Well, he's a relatively quiet guy, at least around us. Is it the same way in the huddle, in the locker room, and how would you describe his demeanor as a leader?
I think he's a leader on the team. Absolutely. I think he's one of those guys that, like you said, you know, he might not be the loudest guy all the time, but when he speaks, everybody listens. So, you know, he's a great locker room presence and a great teammate to have.